It was one of those rainy afternoons where the sky feels like it's been gray for years. The rain didn't pour. It hung in the air, soaking everything, turning the street outside into a mirror of dark puddles. I was 17, home alone for the weekend. My parents had left earlier that morning, and the house felt strangely bigger without them. I spent most of the day in my room, lost in a game on my computer. The sound of rain tapping against the window, a constant backdrop. Around 4 in the afternoon, I leaned back in my chair and glanced outside. That's when I saw him, a man tall and thin, standing across the street. He wasn't just passing by, he was still, completely still, facing my house. His hood was pulled low, shadows hiding his face. His hands were buried deep in the pockets of a long, dark coat. The longer I looked, the more I was sure he wasn't looking at the street, he was looking at my house. After what felt like forever, he turned his head slightly, scanning the street, and then walked away. I told myself it was nothing, just a stranger caught in the rain. Still, I closed the blinds and tried to push it out of my mind. Hours passed. By late evening, the storm had gotten heavier. The street lights outside flickered, and the wind rattled the branches of the old tree near my window. I was halfway through another game match when, just before 11, everything died. The screen went black. The lights in the room blinked out. Even the distant hum of the refrigerator stopped. The sudden silence made my ears ring. I grabbed my phone, its dim flashlight barely enough to cut through the darkness, and headed downstairs. The breaker box was in the basement, a place I'd always hated. The wooden steps groaned under my feet as I descended into the damp air. The basement was darker than I remembered. The beam from my phone barely cut through it. I walked towards the breaker box, each step echoing softly. And then, I froze. In the farthest corner, where the shadows seemed to thicken, someone was standing. Motionless, tall, thin. His hood was still up, dripping water onto the concrete. His face was pale, almost gray, eyes locked on me. In his right hand, something metallic glinted. My breath caught. Metal, long and thin. A crowbar. My chest tightened. My fingers went numb around the phone. He didn't move, but there was something in the way he tilted his head. A quiet calculation, like he was deciding what to do next. I turned and ran, taking the steps 2 at a time, slamming the basement door behind me. My shaking hands twisted the lock until it clicked. Without thinking, I sprinted for the front door, yanked it open, and plunged into the rain. My breath came in sharp, cold bursts as I fumbled for my phone with wet hands and dialed 911. The dispatcher's voice was calm, but my own was trembling as I told them there was someone in my house. They told me to stay outside and wait. The street was empty, but every second I expected to see him appear at the window. Within minutes, blue and red lights cut through the darkness. Officers rushed inside while I stood in the downpour, barely able to breathe. When they emerged, they had him in handcuffs. Up close, his face was even worse. Cheekbones sharp under pale skin, eyes sunken and hollow. In his pocket, they found a syringe filled with a clear liquid, later confirmed to be a powerful sedative. The officers told me the basement door had been blocked from the inside. They'd also found fresh scratches on the kitchen window frame, wood splintered where he'd forced it open from outside, then carefully shut it again so it wouldn't be noticed. He'd been in the house for over an hour, waiting. He had cut the power deliberately, knowing it would bring me down there. While I'd been upstairs, headphones on, lost in my game. He had been moving quietly in the dark, just a floor beneath me. That night, I didn't go back inside. And even now, years later, I still wonder if the lights hadn't gone out, would I have ever known he was there? Or would I have just kept playing, unaware that a stranger was waiting for the perfect moment?